20 awesomely bad songs from 1970s. You forgot the 1970s gave us disco, soft rock, and some of the cheesiest hits ever recorded. Critics hated them. Audiences loved them anyway. Some topped the charts for weeks. These are 20 awesomely bad songs from the 1970s you completely forgot. Number 20. Escape, the Piña Colada song.
Into yoga, if you have half a brain.
Rupert Holmes scored the last #1 hit of the 1970s with this absurd tale of marital boredom and misguided romance. Released in 1979, the song spent 3 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100.
Falling into the same old dull routine, so I wrote to the paper.
The premise involves a man who answers a personal ad looking to cheat on his partner, only to discover the woman he's meeting is his own girlfriend. Somehow, audiences found this romantic. Holmes originally titled it simply Escape, but radio DJs kept referencing the tropical drink, so he added the parenthetical.
You like making love at midnight in the dunes of the Cape.
The song went gold and became a staple of soft rock radio. Its catchy Caribbean melody disguised a deeply problematic message about infidelity that nobody seemed to notice or care about at the time. Number 19. Kung Fu Fighting.
There was funky Chinaman from funky Chinatown.
Carl Douglas recorded this novelty hit in just 10 minutes as a B-side in 1974. The producers had extra studio time and needed filler. That throwaway track became a global phenomenon, reaching #1 in multiple countries and selling over 9 million copies worldwide. The song capitalized on the martial arts film craze sparked by Bruce Lee movies sweeping theaters.
Here comes the big boss. Hey, let's get it on. We took the ball and made a stand.
The lyrics featured cartoonish sound effects and vaguely stereotypical Asian imagery throughout. Douglas, a Jamaican-born singer living in London, never expected the song to define his entire career.
A bit frightening, but it's all the expert timing.
He later expressed mixed feelings about being forever associated with a 10-minute novelty recording instead of his serious R&B work. Number 18. Disco Duck.
Party the other night. All the ladies would treat me right.
Memphis radio DJ Rick Dees created this quacking monstrosity in 1976, and America ate it up. The song topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 1 week and sold over 1 million copies. Dees nearly lost his radio job recording it, since he was under contract to another station that forbade outside music projects. He recorded it secretly under the name Rick Dees and his cast of idiots. The track featured a Donald Duck-style voice singing enthusiastically about disco dancing. Critics despised it completely. The public disagreed, making it one of the best-selling novelty songs in history. Dees parlayed the success into a national radio career that lasted decades, though he rarely performed the duck voice again. Number 17. Afternoon Delight.
And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway.
The Starland Vocal Band turned Innuendo into a #1 hit in 1976. This soft rock gem spent 2 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100 with lyrics about romantic encounters during daylight hours. The title was a double entendre that apparently flew right over most radio programmers' heads. The band even won a Grammy for Best Arrangement for Voices.
Thinking of you's working up an appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon tea.
Bill Danoff wrote the song after spotting Afternoon Delight on a restaurant menu where it had referred to a daytime happy hour special. The song's success earned the group their own CBS variety show, which lasted only 6 episodes before cancellation.
Started out this morning feeling so polite. I always thought a fish could not be caught who didn't.
A 2003 Arrested Development scene revived the song's cultural relevance for a new generation. Number 16. You Light Up My Life.
Light up my life.
Debbie Boone, daughter of 1950s crooner Pat Boone, delivered the longest-running #1 hit of 1977. The song spent an astonishing 10 consecutive weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, a record for the entire decade. Originally recorded by Casey Sissick for the film of the same name, Boone's version became the definitive saccharine ballad of the era.
You light up my life.
The song won the Academy Award for Best Original Song that year. Boone marketed it as a spiritual love song to God, though songwriter Joe Brooks intended it as a romantic ballad about human connection. The song sold over 4 million copies despite critics calling it emotionally manipulative and relentlessly schmaltzy throughout. Number 15, MacArthur Park. Donna Summer took Richard Harris's already bizarre 1968 ballad and transformed it into a 17-minute disco epic in 1978. The edited single version reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving Summer her first chart topper. The song's infamous lyrics about someone leaving a cake out in the rain, becoming somehow irrecoverable, baffled listeners for decades. Songwriter Jimmy Webb has defended the metaphorical meaning repeatedly, insisting the cake represents lost love and memories. Summer's version featured dramatic orchestral arrangements and her powerful vocals, making the absurd imagery somehow work emotionally. The song remains one of the most polarizing number 1 hits ever recorded, with critics still debating whether it's genius or garbage. Before we continue down the countdown, which of these songs brings back the most memories from the 70s? Did you actually buy any of these on vinyl back in the day? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you're watching from today. Number 14, Seasons in the Sun.
We had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed.
Terry Jacks took a Belgian song about a dying man saying goodbye to everyone he loved and transformed it into the number 1 hit of early 1974. The song spent 3 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the best-selling singles of that year.
Much wine and too much song, wonder how I got along. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to...
Originally written by Jacques Brel in French, Jacks created an English adaptation after the Beach Boys abandoned their version. The morbid lyrics detailed heartfelt final farewells to a father, a best friend, and a girlfriend.
Learned of love and ABC, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye, my friend.
Critics found it manipulatively sentimental and emotionally exploitative. Audiences disagreed completely, crying along with every verse. Jacks never matched this success again, making him a quintessential one-hit wonder despite the song's massive impact. Number 13, My Ding-a-Ling. The father of rock and roll had exactly one number 1 hit, and it was this. Chuck Berry released this double entendre novelty song as a live recording in 1972, and it topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 2 weeks.
Her bells hanging on a string. She told me it was my ding-a-ling.
The song featured audience call and response about a childhood toy, with obvious adult implications that somehow slipped past radio censors entirely. Berry had recorded the song multiple times since 1968, but this live version from the Lancaster Arts Festival in England finally broke through commercially.
This here song, it ain't so sad. The cutest little song you ever...
Critics were appalled that Berry's only chart topper wasn't Johnny B. Good or Roll Over Beethoven. Berry himself seemed to find the irony amusing, performing it regularly until his death in 2017. Number 12, Convoy.
Big Ben, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer down.
C.W. McCall created the ultimate trucker anthem in 1975, riding the CB radio craze to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song spent 1 week at the top in January 1976 and spawned an entire genre of CB-themed novelty songs.
By the time we got into Tulsa town, we had 85 trucks in all, but there's a roadblock up on the Clover.
McCall was actually Bill Fries, an advertising executive from Omaha who created the character for a bread company commercial campaign. The song's trucker slang, including Breaker 19 and 10-4 Good Buddy, became part of American vernacular almost overnight. A 1978 film adaptation starring Chris Christopherson flopped critically, but performed moderately at the box office.
Shot the line, we went for broke, with 1,000 screaming trucks and 11 long-haired friends.
The CB radio fad died quickly, But Convoy remains a nostalgic time capsule of mid-70s working-class Americana. Number 11, Hooked on a Feeling.
But from you, girl, but I don't need no cure.
Blue Swede transformed a 1968 B.J. Thomas ballad into something completely unforgettable in 1974, with one simple addition, Ooga Chaka. The Swedish rock band's version topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 1 week, introducing that bizarre tribal chant intro to millions of confused American listeners.
You just don't realize what you do to me.
The original Thomas recording contained no such sounds whatsoever. The band borrowed the Ooga Chaka from Jonathan King's obscure 1971 version, amplifying it into the song's most memorable element. The track experienced a massive revival when Guardians of the Galaxy featured it prominently in 2014. Before that film, Blue Swede had been almost completely forgotten despite creating one of the most recognizable intros in pop history. We're halfway through and the songs only get cheesier from here. Which one surprised you most so far? Have you caught yourself humming any of these guilty pleasures lately? Share your favorite memories in the comments below. Number 10, The Streak.
Show off his physique. If there's an audience to be found.
Ray Stevens captured the 1974 streaking phenomenon with this novelty hit that reached number 1 for 3 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. The song featured comedic spoken word segments about a naked man running through various public events, with Stevens playing both the streaker and a horrified bystander named Ethel. Streaking had become a genuine fad on college campuses that spring.
Just as proud as he can be of his anatomy, he gon' give us a piece.
The single sold millions of copies during its peak. Stevens, already known for comedy songs like Ahab the Arab and Guitars On, proved his novelty instincts were perfectly calibrated.
There's an audience to be found. He'll be streaking around, inviting public critique.
The streaking craze died almost as quickly as it emerged, making the song a perfect snapshot of a bizarre cultural moment. Number 9, Muskrat Love.
The jitterbug out at Muskrat Land and they share.
Captain and Tennille took Willis Allen Ramsey's quirky 1972 song about mating rodents and made it a number 4 hit in 1976. The song featured synthesizer sounds specifically designed to represent muskrats making love, which is exactly as strange as it sounds today. Tony Tennille's sweet vocals somehow made the absurd subject matter palatable to mainstream radio audiences. The song's strangest moment came in 1976, when the duo performed it at a White House state dinner for Queen Elizabeth II. President Gerald Ford reportedly loved it thoroughly.
Muskrat, muskrat, candlelight, doing the town.
The Queen appeared visibly uncomfortable during the muskrat sound effects portion. The performance became legendary as one of the most awkward moments in White House entertainment history. Number 8, The Night Chicago Died.
Yes, indeed.
British band Paper Lace scored a number 1 hit in 1974 with a song that got American history completely wrong. The song depicted a fictional shootout between police and Al Capone's gang, claiming the east side of Chicago ran red with blood.
A man named Al Capone tried to make that town his own, and he called his gang to war.
Chicago crime actually centered on the south side, and Capone died of syphilis complications in 1947, not in any dramatic shootout. The band, hailing from Nottingham, England, had clearly never visited Chicago or researched its history. American listeners didn't seem to care about accuracy, sending the song to number 1 for 1 week.
To pray the night Chicago died.
Paper Lace faded into complete obscurity afterward, remembered only for this melodramatic, factually challenged guilty pleasure. Number 7, Billy Don't Be a Hero.
As he started to go, she said, Billy, keep your head low.
Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods beat Paper Lace's original British version to number 1 in America with this 1974 anti-war ballad. The song spent 2 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, telling the story of a young soldier who ignores his fiancé's desperate plea and dies heroically in battle. The girl receives the news and throws away the letter describing his medal.
We've got to hang on, boys. We've got to hold this piece of ground.
The song's manipulative sentiment made it an easy target for critics nationwide. Paper Lace, who recorded it first in Britain, watched helplessly as the American cover dominated their potential market.
Billy, don't be a hero. Come back and make me your wife.
Bo Donaldson never achieved another significant hit, making this saccharine war tragedy his permanent and only legacy in American pop. Number 6. Feelings.
For all my life I'll feel it.
Brazilian singer Morris Albert turned this 1975 ballad into both a number 6 hit and an eternal punchline. The song became synonymous with cheesy lounge music, parodied endlessly for its repetitive chorus. Albert performed it with such earnest emotional conviction that audiences couldn't decide whether to cry or cringe along. The song faced serious legal problems years later.
I wish I'd never met you, girl.
French songwriter Louis Gastet sued Albert for plagiarism, claiming the melody was stolen from his 1956 composition, Pour Toi. Gastet won the lawsuit, forcing Albert to share royalties permanently.
Again in my life.
Despite the scandal and endless ridicule, Feelings has been covered hundreds of times, proving awesomely bad. Songs have remarkable staying power. Only 5 songs left, and these might be the cheesiest guilty pleasures of them all. Which forgotten hit deserves a proper comeback? Which one should stay buried forever? Let us know your take in the comments. Number 5. Torn Between Two Lovers.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool.
Mary McGregor reached number 1 for 2 weeks in early 1977 with this soft rock confession about infidelity. The song presented adultery from the cheater's perspective, asking for understanding while maintaining relationships with both men simultaneously.
With everything I feel inside, I'm asking you to stay.
Radio stations played it constantly, despite, or perhaps because of, the morally questionable message at its center. Written by Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul and Mary alongside Phil Jarrell, the song went gold and became a radio staple.
You were the first real love I ever had.
Critics accused it of romanticizing cheating while dressed in pretty soft rock production. McGregor defended the song as emotionally honest. She never achieved another significant hit, becoming a one-hit wonder forever, associated with this controversial ballad about romantic duplicity. Number 4. Shannon. Henry Gross wrote this 1976 ballad about death and loss that climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Audiences assumed it mourned a lost love or deceased relative, moved to tears by its gentle melody. The song actually memorialized Carl Wilson's Irish setter. Wilson, of the Beach Boys, had lost his beloved dog Shannon, and his friend Gross penned this emotional tribute.
Just like the one in our backyard.
The song went gold, with listeners genuinely weeping, not realizing they were crying over a family pet. Gross was friends with the Beach Boys and witnessed Wilson's genuine grief firsthand. Critics have since debated whether knowing the subject was a dog makes the song more touching or more ridiculous. Most agree it's somehow both. Number 3. Sometimes When We Touch.
And all the strategy leaves me battling with my pride.
Canadian singer Dan Hill reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in early 1978 with what critics called the most overwrought ballad of the decade. The song featured lyrics about emotional vulnerability so intense that some listeners found them genuinely uncomfortable. Lines about wanting to hold someone forever became easy targets for endless parody.
Watch while love commands you, and I've watched love pass you by.
Co-written with legendary songwriter Barry Mann, the song sold millions of copies despite the critical mockery it received. Hill has spent decades defending it, insisting the emotional honesty was completely intentional.
Sometimes I understand you, and I know how hard you try.
Critics have called it one of the most hated songs of the 1970s. Hill still performs it proudly today, fully embracing its polarizing legacy. Number 2. Undercover Angel. Alan O'Day hit number 1 for 1 week in summer 1977 with this dream pop oddity about a fantasy lover who visits during sleep. The lyrics described an ethereal female presence that the narrator couldn't quite grasp upon waking each morning. Some listeners interpreted it as a sweet love song. Others noticed the thinly veiled references to nighttime fantasies. O'Day was primarily a songwriter who had penned hits for Helen Reddy before achieving this solo breakthrough. He never reached the top 40 again as a performer himself. The song's combination of innocent production and questionable subtext made it a perfect encapsulation of the 70s' ability to disguise adult themes beneath catchy melodies and lush strings. Number 1. Run, Joey, Run.
Can't erase the memory, the sound of Julie's cry.
David Geddes reached number 4 in 1975 with the most melodramatic song of the entire decade. This 3-act tragedy featured spoken word sections, a pregnant teenager, an angry father with a gun, and a climactic death scene where the girl takes a bullet meant for her boyfriend.
Suddenly, a shot rang out, and I saw Julie falling.
The song played like a soap opera compressed into 4 minutes of peak 70s excess and shameless emotion. Geddes delivered the overwrought narrative with complete sincerity, including the repeated desperate chorus.
Never seen him act this way. My God, he's going crazy.
The song went gold as audiences apparently couldn't resist its shameless emotional manipulation. Critics absolutely despised it. Listeners couldn't stop playing it anyway. The song remains a masterpiece of awesomely bad 70s pop, completely forgotten yet absolutely unforgettable once you hear it again.